Have you ever noticed that you're always looking out for others, but when you need support, no one shows up? The world expects you to be strong, to solve everything, but who looks out for you? The truth is hard, but necessary. If you don't take care of yourself, no one else will. Time doesn't wait for you to recover, and responsibilities keep piling up. Expecting others to notice your needs and act on them is a mistake. Stoicism teaches that the only thing we can control is ourselves, and that includes how we protect our energy, our peace, and our well-being. Taking care of yourself isn't selfish, it's survival. If you don't learn to say no, the world will overwhelm you. If you don't set boundaries, people will overstep. If you don't take care of your mind, you'll be at the mercy of others' opinions. For the Stoics, self-care wasn't about luxury, but about discipline. Marcus Aurelius, even while ruling an empire, made time to reflect on his inner strength. He knew that if his mind was weak, everything else would collapse. And it's no different for you. You need to be the guardian of your energy and growth. If you neglect yourself, you'll live at the mercy of others. Those who don't take care of themselves get stuck in cycles of exhaustion and frustration. When you take control and decide that your peace, health, and time are non-negotiable, your life changes. You begin to invest in what truly matters, instead of worrying about things you can't control. Now, I want to know, are you ready to take better care of yourself? Comment, I will take better care of myself. Leave a like so more people see this message. Subscribe to the channel, and share it with those who need to hear this. Now, let's get into the video. Today you will learn 11 Stoic teachings to prioritize yourself. Number 1. The first commitment is to yourself. How many times have you promised yourself you'd do something but didn't follow through? Start working out, sleep earlier, eat better, but something always comes up and you end up not doing it. If a friend did that, would you trust them? The issue is that with ourselves, we break promises without facing any apparent consequences. But there is a consequence, a lack of self-respect. To change your life and achieve what you want, you must start respecting the most important person, yourself. No matter what you want to achieve, more health, more money, more peace. If you don't keep your promises to yourself, any change will be short-lived. Marcus Aurelius, even with so many challenges, reflected on his actions and discipline. He didn't delegate his growth, he took ownership of it. And what about you? Have you been serious about your commitment to your growth? Or do you treat yourself like you're disposable? The first commitment you must honor isn't to others, it's to you. If you say you're going to do something, do it. If you promise to wake up early, wake up. If you decide to dedicate yourself to something, push through until the end. Every time you break a promise to yourself, you teach your mind not to trust you. If you don't keep your promises, no one will respect you, not even you. When you commit and follow through, your self-esteem grows. You begin to feel more in control of your life. You don't need external motivation because your word is enough. Discipline is acting because you decided to, not because you're motivated. And when you follow through, you no longer need validation from others. You know you're on the right path. But this commitment isn't easy. The world will test you. There will always be distractions and excuses. And that's when you need to decide, will you keep making excuses, or will you be the person who keeps their word? The Stoics believed that our lives are shaped by what we can control, and the main thing we can control is our conduct. You can't control what happens around you, but you can control your actions. Don't wait for the perfect moment. The only moment that matters is now. The commitment you can fulfill is the one for today. What commitment have you been putting off? Start now. Every day you delay is one less day to live the life you want. The Stoics didn't see time as something guaranteed. For them, each day was an opportunity to improve. If you knew you had little time left, would you keep wasting your word? Start now, choose something, and follow through. The difference between a strong person and a weak one isn't talent or luck. It's the commitment they have to themselves. From today on, make a pact with yourself. Never disrespect your word again. Never be the one who promises and doesn't deliver. Be someone who treats themselves with respect. The first commitment of your life should be to you. If you fail at this, everything you seek will be at risk. Now, the choice is yours. Will you keep postponing and dodging, or will you start taking action and fulfilling your promises? Stoicism is more than a distant philosophy. It's about action, discipline, and responsibility, and it all starts now. Now let's move to lesson 2. You are the leader of your life. Life isn't going to rescue you. No one will come to give you the answers or take you where you want to go. Stoicism is clear in stating that you are the only one responsible for your own existence. As long as you wait for the perfect moment or an external solution, you'll be wasting the most valuable time, the present. Marcus Aurelius said, "What is within your power, that is what matters." He reminds us that the only thing we can truly control is our reaction and actions. Many people live as if they're just passing through, waiting for destiny to be in their favor, for someone to make decisions for them, or for circumstances to change on their own. This waiting is a trap. Time doesn't wait. The world rewards those who act, not those who wait. While some freeze in the face of uncertainty, others keep moving forward, even without all the answers. And guess who gets farther? True strength isn't about knowing everything, but continuing to act despite doubts. You need to be the leader of your own life. No book, mentor, or philosophy can replace the daily decision to take control over what's within your reach. This means stopping the wait for approval from others, stopping procrastination out of fear of making mistakes, and letting go of the belief that someone will come to rescue you. The world doesn't change because of your complaints. If you want to live fully, stop being a spectator. Picture a boat adrift, with no direction, carried by the waves. That's what happens when you don't take charge of your life. Without direction, you'll be led by external forces, other people's opinions, society's expectations, your fears, and insecurities. Now, imagine the opposite. An experienced sailor holding the boat's wheel, adjusting the sails with the wind, but always with a destination in mind. He can't control the sea, but he controls his direction. He doesn't avoid storms, but he knows how to get through them. That's what it means to be the captain of your own life. Many people avoid this responsibility thinking it's a burden, but in reality, it's a form of freedom. When you realize that no one can make your decisions for you, that no one can fight your battles, you become free. Free from the need to please, free from the fear of making mistakes, free from emotional dependence on others' approval. Stoicism teaches emotional self-sufficiency. It's not about isolating yourself, but acting based on your character, not external validation. What separates a fulfilling life from an empty one is the choice you make every day. What to tolerate, what to feed your mind, what to accept, and what to reject. If you don't define your choices, someone else will. If you don't set your boundaries, the world will cross them. Some people seem to have more balance, more time, and more energy because they take ownership of their lives. They don't wake up waiting for what the day will bring. They decide. This decision to lead your life doesn't happen all at once. There's no magical moment where you change. It's a daily commitment. Every day is an opportunity to take charge of your destiny. Those who wait for instructions end up following any path that comes their way. They live according to others' expectations, doing what seems easiest, but those who take the lead create their own path. This doesn't mean ignoring advice, but it means making the final decisions for yourself. The world is full of people trying to tell you how to act, how to think, and how to feel. But this only works for those who don't take the wheel of their own life. If you don't take control of your journey, someone else will. No accomplishment will be yours if you live to please others. No change will be real if it's just to impress. True growth comes when you accept that no one is coming to save you. This is the first step toward personal power that few people have. The Stoics didn't expect an easy life. They prepared to face any situation. Are you still waiting for someone to make decisions for you? Or will you begin to act as your own leader? Only you can guide your life wisely. If you want a different future, take control. In the end, you are either the leader of your life or just a passenger being carried wherever the winds take you. Number 3, define your priorities or the world will do it for you. Time doesn't wait. Each morning brings new choices to make, new paths to follow. If you don't define what's important to you, the world will do it for you, and the result might not be what you expect. The world is chaotic and full of distractions. If you don't set your priorities, you'll just be another piece on someone else's chessboard. Many people think they control their destiny, but in practice, they are guided by obligations they didn't choose, commitments they made without thinking, and tasks that feel urgent, but don't contribute to their growth. In the end, weeks go by and you feel like you haven't achieved anything important. This doesn't happen by chance, but because other people or situations are deciding your priorities. It could be work, always demanding more without offering balance, or society, imposing standards you've never questioned. It could also be procrastination, wasting time on meaningless things. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic thinkers, understood that life is short and every moment should be used wisely. He teaches us that what we give our attention to shapes our reality. If we don't decide where to focus our energy, we'll be pulled in different directions, lost, out of control, and without purpose. For him, knowing what's a priority wasn't just about productivity, but about honor. Living without direction is wasting the greatest gift we have, time. Great people who achieved great things knew that success doesn't come from trying to do everything, but from focusing on what truly matters. Many live on autopilot, trying to please everyone and solving small problems, while the biggest challenges are left ignored. Today, a major issue is information overload. Distractions are everywhere. If it was hard to stay focused before, today it's almost an internal battle. Every click, every notification tries to steal our attention. If you don't have a clear idea of what's important, you'll end up swept away by the tide of irrelevance. Many people only realize they've wasted time when it's already too late. Years pass by, and suddenly the question arises, what have I built? What really mattered? At that point, many regret not taking charge of their own lives sooner, saying yes to so many meaningless things while ignoring what could have taken them further. Stoicism teaches us to live each day as if it were our last, but not in the sense of acting impulsively. It's about appreciating the present and ensuring every moment is meaningful. The problem is that setting priorities takes effort. It's easier to go with the flow and do what others are doing, but that leads to a mediocre life. Those who truly live fully don't let chance decide their steps. They know what they want and eliminate what doesn't contribute to their growth. Having clarity about what matters changes your life. When you know what truly counts, your choices become easier. You stop saying yes to everything, stop getting involved in unnecessary arguments, and stop wasting time on things that lead nowhere. You begin to act more purposefully, build something solid, and experience real progress. But how do you know what truly matters? The first step is reflection. Ask yourself, what, if done consistently, would improve my life? What would bring real progress and meaning? Honesty is key here, because often we deceive ourselves into thinking we're busy with important things when, in reality, we're just avoiding what really needs to be done. Another important point is learning to eliminate. If everything is a priority, nothing is. If everything seems important, it means you haven't yet filtered what's essential from what's unnecessary. To have a meaningful life, you need to cut out the excess, remove distractions, and focus on what really matters. This might mean giving up certain habits, reducing time spent on things that don't promote growth, or even distancing yourself from people who drain your energy. Many fear setting priorities because it means saying no to many things. But the truth is that by not making those choices, you're already saying no to your own life. The time you spend on things that don't matter is time taken away from something that could truly make a difference. The Stoics believed that wisdom lies in focusing on what we can control, and time is something we can control. If each day is a blank page, you're the one who should write on it. If you don't choose what gets written, others will do it for you. And if that happens, it's likely your life won't be the story you truly wanted to tell. Time doesn't wait for anyone. No matter how distracted you get, it keeps passing by. The only choice you have is how to use it. Every wasted day on what doesn't matter is one less day to build what truly makes sense. If there's one thing Stoicism teaches that you can apply right now, it's this. Choose what's important before the world chooses for you. Many people live as though they're just reacting to everything around them. They're tossed back and forth by circumstances, with no control over their lives. When someone says something offensive, they react with anger. When they face an inconvenience, impatience takes over. At every moment, emotions and external factors define how they feel and what they do. The problem with this is that those who just react are never in control. The Stoics understood that life isn't about avoiding difficulties because they're inevitable, but about not being a slave to automatic reactions. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor of one of the greatest empires in history, knew that his strength was in choosing how to act, not just reacting to chance. The difference between those who lead their lives and those who just react is simple but transformative. Those who react are always trying to solve problems after they arise, feeling like victims of circumstances. On the other hand, those who take control set the direction for their lives. How many times have you been frustrated because something unexpected threw off your plans? That happens when you live by just reacting, because any small setback can disrupt your peace. The world will never be perfect. There will always be challenges, difficult people, and unexpected moments. Change needs to come in how you respond to that. Imagine a storm. Most people panic, but some remain calm, assess the situation, and make strategic decisions. This is what it means to lead your life, acting with intention, having a plan, and acting based on your values, not your momentary emotions. Living on autopilot, reacting to everything, makes a person vulnerable. Society tells you what to think, the media tells you what to believe, and social media manipulates your emotions. They don't realize it, but they're being controlled by outside forces. True freedom is deciding that you will no longer be controlled, that your peace and your choices won't be defined by chance. This doesn't mean ignoring problems, but being strategic, not impulsive. Great leaders and thinkers weren't those who acted without thinking. They were the ones who maintained clarity amid chaos. And you? Are you being guided by your principles or just reacting to what's happening around you? Change begins when you realize that you don't have to respond to everything. Not every provocation deserves a reply. Not every problem should drain your energy. You can choose what to focus on, set priorities, and ignore what doesn't matter. Ask yourself, are your actions aligned with what truly matters to you? If you're just putting out fires, maybe you're letting the world dictate your life. Stoicism teaches that the only thing we can control is ourselves. This means you can decide how to act, regardless of what's happening around you. That choice makes all the difference. Time passes, but those who steer their lives go further. Those who only react get lost along the way. There comes a point when you need to decide, will you keep being controlled by circumstances or will you take control of your life? The power has always been in your hands. Your time is more valuable than you think. Time is the only thing you can never get back. Money can be earned again, but lost time never returns. Many live as if they have endless time, wasting hours and days on things that don't bring anything good. They don't realize that by wasting time, they're wasting life. Seneca said, "It's not that we have little time, but that we waste much." The issue isn't the lack of time, but how we use it. Everyone has the same 24 hours, but some do incredible things, while others get stuck in distractions and procrastination. Ask yourself where your time is being spent. How much time do you waste on pointless worries, scrolling through screens, consuming empty content, or living other people's lives? How much of your attention goes to irrelevant conversations and distractions that don't help your growth? Life is short, and time is a precious asset. Every wasted moment is a part of your life that you can never get back. The Stoics saw time as something sacred. They didn't allow themselves to procrastinate or live without action. They knew that a wasted life isn't just lost time, but also unrealized potential. Many people believe there's always a later to start something important, but that later never comes. The only time you have to act is now. If you don't take control of your time, someone else will. The world is full of distractions that steal your attention. Social media, meaningless entertainment, tasks that aren't yours, and external pressures trying to dictate your life. If you don't decide what truly matters, you'll be carried by circumstances. And before you know it, you'll have spent your days busy with everything except what truly makes a difference. Many people reach the end of their lives and regret not for the money or possessions they didn't accumulate, but for the time they lost, the opportunities they let slip by, the life they didn't live. And you? Are you living consciously or just letting time pass? Are you investing your time in something that builds a future or just reacting to what happens? The difference between those who achieve something meaningful and those who just survive lies in how they view time. Those who understand the value of time protect it like a treasure. They say no to what isn't essential, eliminate distractions, and act without waiting for the perfect moment. You can start now. Look at your routine and eliminate what doesn't contribute to your growth. If something doesn't strengthen you, inspire you, or make you grow, then it's stealing a piece of your life, and your life is too short to waste. Distance yourself from people who drain your energy. Not all battles happen against the world outside. Many are fought within the circles you choose to be in, with whom you decide to spend your time. Some people around you aren't there to support you, but to suck your energy and lower your confidence. If you don't realize this, you might be surrounded by people who, instead of lifting you up, pull you back. Stoicism teaches us to protect our minds from what's not under our control, and one of the biggest threats to our well-being comes from the negative influences around us. Seneca warned that we must be selective about who we allow into our lives, as the wrong company can corrupt even the strongest. Think about this. If someone constantly diminishes your achievements or belittles your dreams, why does this person still occupy space in your life? The time you spend with those who demotivate you is time wasted. Often, the fear of loneliness leads people to maintain toxic relationships. But what's worse, being alone for a while as you strengthen yourself, or continuing to be surrounded by people who limit your growth. Number 7. Solitude can be a time of strengthening. On the other hand, being around the wrong people is like a silent prison. Not every smile is sincere, and not every support is genuine. Some people prefer to see you stuck because your growth forces them to face their own lack of progress. When you grow, you become a mirror that reflects their stagnation, something many can't stand. Protecting your energy isn't selfish, it's wisdom. You can't carry everyone, and you shouldn't try to convince others to believe in you. Your growth doesn't need approval. Those who truly support you will be there. Those who try to limit you have already made their choice. The Stoics didn't worry about pleasing everyone. They knew that others' opinions shouldn't control them. What mattered was keeping the mind strong, values firm, and purpose clear. Marcus Aurelius, as emperor, faced envy, manipulation, and betrayal constantly. If he had let every criticism affect him, he would have gotten lost in chaos. But he kept his focus on what truly mattered. You need to do the same. Ask yourself, do these people strengthen me or limit me? Do they inspire me or make me doubt myself? If the answer isn't positive, it may be time to step away. This doesn't mean cutting off relationships aggressively or creating conflicts. Distance can be silent, changing your priorities or investing your time in new connections that truly help you grow. The important thing is knowing that your energy is valuable and needs to be protected, just like your time and mind. Epictetus said, "People are not disturbed by things, but by the view they take of them." This means it's not the challenges that define you, but how you face them. If your mind is filled with weakness, any obstacle will seem impossible. But if your mind is strong, nothing can stop you. Think about how a blacksmith shapes a blade. He doesn't find it ready. He heats the metal, strikes it repeatedly, and sharpens it until it's cutting. Your mind should be treated the same way. It needs to be worked and strengthened every day. If you don't take care of it, it will become a burden rather than a tool. What happens when someone trains their body every day but doesn't train their mind? The person may become physically strong, but still weak inside, afraid of failure, paralyzed by difficulties, seeking approval, or sabotaging themselves. They have potential, but they can't use it because their own mind limits them. Their thoughts shape their reality. What you feed inside your head defines what happens outside of it. Those who think like a loser act like one. Those who see the world with pessimism live in a gray reality. But those who train their minds to be strong, resilient, and strategic become unbeatable in the face of challenges. The good news is that you have the power to change this. Thoughts are like muscles. If you spend your life focusing on the negative, it will grow strong within you. But if you start training your mind to think more clearly and focus on what matters, it will become a powerful tool for overcoming any challenge. A well-trained mind isn't one that never feels fear or doubt, but one that knows how to control them and not let them dominate your life. Mentally strong people feel fear, but they don't stop because of it. They face challenges and don't give in to negativity. They understand that everything can be a lesson, and in the end, the only real control they have is over how they deal with situations. The Stoics taught that our thoughts are the only thing no one can take from us. The world may challenge us, but our minds will always be ours. The question is, are you taking care of your mind or letting it weaken? Many people live on autopilot, feeding beliefs without questioning them, like, "I'm not good enough," "I always fail," or "this will never work for me." But where do these thoughts come from? Who told you that? Often they are based on past experiences, fears, and other people's opinions, and the biggest mistake is accepting them without question. A strong mind doesn't take everything as truth. It analyzes its beliefs and asks, does this make sense, or is it just a reflection of my insecurity? A sharp blade needs to be used well, and a sharp mind needs to be directed toward what truly matters. If you spend energy on what you can't change, worrying about other people's problems or empty criticism, you're weakening your own strength. Imagine what you could achieve if your mind worked for you instead of against you. If instead of doubting you had clarity. If instead of freezing in fear, you were more strategic. With your mind aligned with your purpose, nothing will stop you. Now, think. What have you been feeding in your mind? What has been strengthening your thoughts? What defines your success or failure isn't the world outside. but what happens inside your mind. Take care of it, and never let it become your greatest enemy. Number 8. Being alone is not weakness, it's training. Sometimes it's in silence that we find the most important answers and discover our true strength. The modern world is afraid of silence. We were taught to believe that being alone is bad, a sign of failure. But the greatest leaders in history understood that solitude can be a time for growth and preparation. The Stoics saw time alone as a gift. Marcus Aurelius, despite being emperor, made time for reflection by himself. Epictetus, who was once a slave, became a great philosopher and said we shouldn't rely on others to find our peace. Seneca reminded us that many live surrounded by people but still feel alone because they don't know how to enjoy their own company. If you don't learn to be with yourself, you'll be stuck in the endless search for approval. You'll look for distractions or company just to avoid facing your own thoughts. But by embracing solitude as a period of learning, you'll realize it can be a powerful tool for strengthening yourself. The greatest warriors train away from the world's eyes. They prepare in the dark, refine their skills, and strengthen their minds. The fear of being alone makes many surround themselves with distractions and shallow interactions to escape from themselves. However, this escape keeps people weak, because they never face themselves and never strengthen their minds. Being alone isn't being lost. It's a chance to find yourself, reflect on your own mistakes and successes, and grow. The problem isn't solitude, but how you view it. If you see it as an opportunity for growth, you'll realize that the most powerful moments of your life can happen when you're alone. The Stoics taught that a person should be emotionally self-sufficient. This doesn't mean living in isolation, but not desperately depending on others to feel good. True strength comes from within, not from others. How many people spend their entire lives avoiding solitude, only to end up not knowing who they truly are? How many lives surrounded by people but feel empty because they've never learned to be at peace with themselves? Those who know how to use solitude for growth become unshakable. They don't fear being alone because they know it's in these moments they train their minds, strengthen their discipline, and build a strong identity. The real battle in life isn't against the world, but inside you. And often, these battles are won when you face solitude and turn it into a period of evolution. The world tries to convince you that being alone is a problem, but now you know that in reality, it can be your greatest strength. Number 9. Don't waste time expecting respect from those who don't respect themselves. Respect can't be bought, demanded, or begged for. It's earned, but not from everyone. The truth is, it's useless to seek respect from those who don't even value their own life. You can give your best, be honest, loyal, and right, but if the other person doesn't value themselves, nothing will change that. The Stoics understood that what we can't control should be let go, and how others see us is not in our hands. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest emperors, wrote that we should act with fairness, wisdom, and honor, regardless of what others do. Those who don't respect themselves don't know how to respect anyone. Think for a moment. How many times have you been frustrated waiting for consideration from someone who never understood what that even means? How many times have you tried to be recognized by someone who doesn't see any value in themselves? Disappointment arises because you believe that if you act right, you'll get the same in return, but that's not automatic. Respect is like a reflection. It only appears to those who know how to recognize it. It's a mistake to try to earn admiration from someone who doesn't understand what you do. You can be strong, just, and wise, but if the other person lives in mediocrity and laziness, they will see it as a threat, not something positive. When someone without principles meets someone with ethics and discipline, they feel exposed, and instead of respecting, try to belittle or ridicule those who possess qualities they've never had the courage to cultivate. The Stoics teach that we should choose our battles wisely. Spending energy trying to gain respect from someone who respects nothing is a lost cause. It's not your responsibility to make someone understand the value of principles, but to live according to your own, without expecting recognition from those who never learn to recognize what really matters. If someone doesn't respect their own path or isn't aware of their own growth, how could they respect yours? Many people seek validation where it will never come, trying to prove their worth to those who can't see it. They wear themselves out, trying to gain respect where it never existed, and, in the end, question whether they have any value at all. But the problem was never with them, but in expecting something from those who haven't matured yet, or trying to plant wisdom where the soil is infertile. What happens when you stop waiting for respect from those who don't respect themselves? Something powerful. You realize you never needed that respect. You understand that true respect starts within you. When you honor your own principles, act with integrity no matter the circumstances, and live without needing the approval of others, you become unshakable. The Stoics didn't worry about pleasing others. They didn't try to convince people of their integrity. They simply lived according to their beliefs, and that was enough. Because true strength doesn't need applause. The real question is, are you living to be recognized by others, or to live according to your own values? In the end, the respect that truly matters isn't the one from others, but the respect you have for yourself. So, don't waste your energy trying to change the perspective of those who still can't see what truly matters. It doesn't need to be proven. Stand firm, be honest, and keep moving forward. Number 10. Your self-confidence is built behind the scenes. True confidence doesn't just appear out of nowhere. It's built gradually, in moments when no one is watching. In the silences of preparation, in the daily choices that seem small but define who you are. Many think that self-confidence comes when they receive recognition or overcome a big challenge, but that's an illusion. It comes from what you do when no one is looking. The warrior doesn't grow stronger on the battlefield. The speaker doesn't become eloquent in front of the audience, and the wise person doesn't gain wisdom only when making decisions. All of this is the result of what was prepared beforehand. The Stoics knew that silent preparation was the foundation of a strong life. Marcus Aurelius wrote his reflections not to impress others, but to strengthen his mind. Epictetus taught that training the mind is essential to face challenges with calmness. They understood that true strength doesn't come when it's needed, but is cultivated in everyday moments, through consistent and disciplined effort. If you want to be strong when the world tests you, you must be disciplined when no one is watching. What you do behind the scenes determines how you act in life. If your days are marked by procrastination and a lack of commitment, don't expect to be prepared when a challenge comes. But if you cultivate solid habits and train your mind, when tested, you'll be ready. Self-confidence doesn't come from compliments or superficial achievements. It comes from the certainty that you've prepared, done what needed to be done, and can trust yourself because you've already faced your weaknesses, even if no one saw it. How many times have you felt insecure before a challenge? How many times have you doubted your ability? That happens because your mind knows when you're not prepared. It knows what's happening behind the scenes. If you delay, avoid discomfort, or run away from responsibilities, your mind remembers that in the crucial moment. But if you have the habit of being disciplined, facing challenges, and improving every day, your mind remembers that too. Self-confidence is the result of small daily choices. Every time you take action instead of delaying, choose discipline over laziness, and face a challenge instead of avoiding it, you strengthen that confidence. You create a history that tells your mind, I am capable. I've done this before. I'm ready. Many people want the security of self-confidence without committing to preparation. They want to feel strong without having strengthened themselves and be ready without training. But life doesn't work that way. You can't expect your mind to trust you if you haven't earned it. The Stoics taught that constant preparation is what makes us strong in the face of difficulties. If you train discipline every day, test your limits, and challenge yourself when no one is pushing you, you'll be ready for any challenge. Otherwise, you'll find out too late that you don't have the strength when you need it. True self-confidence isn't arrogance or a blind belief that everything will work out. It's the certainty that you've done what was necessary to be ready. It's the peace of mind knowing that no matter what happens, you have the necessary preparation to face any situation. Ask yourself, what are you doing behind the scenes of your life? Are you preparing or waiting for confidence to appear when you need it? In the end, what you do in silence defines what you will be when the world is watching. Number 11, don't wait for motivation. Trust in habits. Motivation is fleeting, and believing that it's essential for success is a mistake. If you depend on it to act, you'll be at the mercy of surprises and your own mood. Motivation can be helpful at first, but what happens when it disappears? What happens on the tough days when enthusiasm runs out? If you don't have something more solid to support you, you'll stop. The Stoics didn't rely on motivation to act. They trusted discipline and the building of solid habits. Epictetus said we should practice our virtues every day, not just when it's convenient. Marcus Aurelius, even as emperor, didn't wait for the desire to do his duties. He simply did what needed to be done, because he knew waiting for motivation was a trap. The truth is that motivation has nothing to do with success. What really determines your progress are the habits you build. What you do every day without expecting recognition is what truly matters. Imagine a warrior training for battle. He can't rely on motivation to practice every day, or he would be unprepared in combat. He trains because he knows that without discipline, he will be defeated. In life, if you want to build something solid, whether it's a personal goal, a skill, or a business, understand that consistency beats motivation. You can't rely on fleeting feelings. You need habits. Why do so many people fail at this? Because they were taught to wait for the right moment, the right motivation. But this mindset is a mistake. Action comes before motivation. The more you take action, the more motivated you feel. The more you move, the more your mind understands that it's important. If you write every day, even without inspiration, you'll eventually become a writer. If you train your body every day, you'll get stronger. If you work on your project daily, you'll see progress. Repetition creates reality. The mistake many make is waiting for the perfect mental state to act, but the Stoics taught that self-control and discipline are stronger than any emotional state. If you want to be strong, you can't be a slave to your feelings. Motivation comes and goes, but a well-built habit is like a fire that stays lit, no matter the wind. Now think, have you been living based on motivation or the habits you build? Are you waiting to feel like acting? Or are you training your mind to be resilient no matter how you feel? Those who act based on habit always win. While others wait for the perfect moment, you'll be ahead, because you understood something important. Motivation can fail, but a habit never will. The world won't wait for you to be ready. Difficulties don't ask if you've prepared, but if you strengthen yourself now, if you commit to your growth, what once seemed hard will become a simple step. Stoicism is not just a philosophy, it's a way of life. Are you ready to live this way? If you've made it this far, write "ready" for the next step in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe for more reflections. Let's spread this mindset of strength, discipline, and growth. See you in the next video.